Hey, this is Tyler, one of the hosts of RangerCast. On our show, we talk about Power Rangers and other multi-unit spandex heroes. We've got news, reviews, interviews. We talk about the comics, the games, the toys, and all things more phenomenal. Find us at Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or check us out at rangercast.net. May the power protect you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. I'm your host Lance, here with my other host Matt. Every episode is brought to you by The Anime Show, so please find them on Facebook and Instagram and stay up to date with everything anime related. With every episode, we like to start off with introducing our adult drinks of choice, and today I will be drinking an old-fashioned following a Leinie Kugel Summer Shandy. What about you, Matt?
I'm doing the same thing. It's going to be an easy one tonight.
Oh yeah. Nice and easy, and you can never go wrong with an old-fashioned.
No, definitely a Wisconsin old-fashioned at that.
Yes. All right, so Matt, you want to let everybody know what we're going to be talking about today?
Yeah, so we are going to be covering the Black Clover movie, Sword of the Wizard King. The events of the movie, give or take place between the elf reincarnation arc and the Heart Kingdom arc. While the movie isn't specifically canon to the manga, it does make a lot of references, so it's a pretty easy spot to kind of guess where it takes place. If you wanted to say, yeah, this is where it takes place. I am pulling a synopsis from Black Clover fandom. They have the best one I can find, and I couldn't write a better one. So it says, the Clover Kingdom is celebrating and watching the Triumph, a fighting tournament held every 10 years. However, the first match is interrupted by the return of Conrad Leto, the 27th Wizard King, who had been sealed away by Julius Novachrono for turning against the kingdom. Together with the Imperial Sword, Conrad has revived 3 dead Wizard Kings, Princia Funny Bunny, Jester Granados, and Edward Avalanche, and enacts his plan to turn the Colosseum into a weapon. Asta and the other Magic Knights find a way to stop the Wizard Kings from destroying the Clover Kingdom. That's about the best you could say what happened in this movie. Pretty much covers everything, I would say.
Yeah, and we don't need to get too crazy on everything because this is just short of a 2-hour show.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half movie. So overall, Lance, what did you think of it?
Overall, I thought it was awesome.
Okay.
For a movie, it was good. And for not getting, a nice, yearly dose of Black Clover, it was nice to finally get something. So maybe that's not going to make me feel like, here's just another Black Clover thing being thrown at us. But it's because we don't get it that often, so it's nice that we have something. That's kind of where I'm sitting. What about you? What are you thinking?
I kind of agree. The movie was for an anime movie that is shonen. It wasn't bad. I will say the Jujutsu Zero movie was better. The story kind of seemed like the movie just kind of dragged, it felt like.
A little bit.
I think it was needed because they needed to really talk about who these characters were. They didn't want to DBZ these movies where it was like, all right, here's this super strong guy, and now we're going to fight this guy. We have no idea what he actually wants. And here you go. He looks kind of similar to other bad guys, so just figure it out. I'm glad they didn't do that. It just felt like the movie was like 15 minutes too long.
A little bit. All in all, I like I was trying to say, like, I am kind of I was happy with the movie.
Yes.
And I don't know, I can't nitpick too much out of it. I mean, we can nitpick some of the anime logic that went on and
yes,
stuff like that, but no, I don't want to give it too much dirt.
No, I had no real qualms with the movie. It was just felt a little long, felt like it dragged a little bit. It wasn't... The animation was good. The animation stayed true to Black Clover, which I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. Like, it wasn't like the Dragon Ball Z Superheroes movie where I kind of forgot I was watching a movie and not watching like cutscenes from a video game.
Right.
So there was that part, which I enjoyed, but I don't know. The movie was fine. Like it was fine. I think my biggest problem was is they just spent too much time explaining everything, like building it up, and then the final fight was just kind of a letdown.
I can see that. It would make more sense with all this build-up if it was supposed to be true to any of the true storyline.
Yeah.
Like if this was supposed to be legit canon, then then I would appreciate it. But this is a movie. It's supposed to be just for fun.
Yep.
Let's get in, have our fun, and then get out and act like nothing happened.
I kind of wish this was like a 2-part movie. Like if they would have made this a 2-part movie, because they had their like little fight in the underground research and development area. If they would have like expanded that and made it a little bit sooner and maybe done it that way and made it a part 1, part 2 movie and made them each an hour long, I think that probably would have been a little bit better. I'm just spitballing things at this point. Like I said, the movie was good. I enjoyed the story. It all made sense. Like it wasn't just some random, weird, out of nowhere movie.
No. And I did appreciate the storyline itself too. I was happy to see not just one past Wizard King come into play, but multiple. It was kind of weird how there could be multiple past Wizard Kings, but this is anime, so let's just have some fun with that.
Yeah, I can see that. I did really enjoy the previous Wizard Kings. Did you have a favorite prior Wizard King, like out of the 4 that we saw?
Yeah, I was trying to think about this. And the one that comes first to my mind is Jester. And he's the one who was making all the shields, all the barriers. He just had this like cool factor about him. And like he was confident about more of the fight. I don't know. They were all confident and stuff. But like I liked his groove, his attitude, everything about his fight. I enjoyed watching his stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. He kind of had the demeanor of somebody who's a shield guy. Mm-hmm. Like he's just kind of reserved, just kind of nonchalant. It just reminded me of somebody who'd be like, yeah, I cast shields. That's all I do is I just cast shields back here. Mm-hmm. Have a good one, guys.
Yeah, and then when he first got introduced and we saw his shield abilities, it did make me question, like, how does a shield creator, like, how does someone like that become a Wizard King? Like, he's also got to be strong enough not just to defend but also to attack. So I was really happy to see at the end that he was able to kind of turn his shields almost into a body armor, or not. It wasn't body armor. Like his bits of shield were like encasing his wounds. I liked that. I thought that was pretty good attention to detail. But then he also had like those weird like whip things that would come out at the end.
Yep.
So that could have been his attack. I don't remember too much out of them actually attacking, but they definitely did have a menace to him.
Yeah, he wasn't around.
He also turned his shields into dual-bladed swords.
That's what it was. I was trying to remember how he attacked. So that'd be kind of cool to see. It'd be very interesting. Definitely wouldn't expect it. So for me, I'll be completely honest, like Conrad's ability just kind of seemed cheating.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just super cheat. Just, all right, I locked your grimoire in my spell and now I can take it whenever I want and you don't have your grimoire anymore. It's just like, okay, yeah, I just have all of these abilities now. So
yeah, it kind of sounded like all for one.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, I agree. So for me, I kind of want to go with Princia.
Funny Bunny?
Yep. I liked her attacks the most. Well, I didn't necessarily like her abilities per se, where she just kind of created all these mech statue things. I didn't really care for that, but just her demeanor was my favorite out of the 4 of them.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that too. Yeah, I 100% agree too, because you can create an army and that is going to be super useful, but in the contents of how we're consuming this anime and like a one-on-one fight, I don't know, it just didn't click as well. Like we want to see like one-on-one awesome battles and not just I'm going to summon a million things and you go attack them first.
And she definitely did that when she was fighting Mariolena?
Something like that, yeah.
Vermilion, the new captain of that group. It's Fagolion's sister. When they were fighting, like the fight between them two, where it was just kind of basically it ended in a draw. Like, to be completely honest, because it was up, I guess I'm out of time.
Yep. We
don't know who wins. So I kind of thought that was cool, where it's like, okay, these two women are just insanely badass, and we never actually get a winner.
Yeah. Mariolena is one of my favorite characters.
Yes.
And that's just because she is so goddamn powerful and persistent, and she just has this
She has
this itch to just continue fighting and getting better and better.
she personifies the fire that's within her.
Yeah, that's a very good way.
And yeah, I really like her as far as Black Clover is concerned. So just having a Wizard King or Queen, in this case, that's very similar in personality, I think it's really great.
Yeah, and it was kind of fun watching them be one-on-one. I mean, despite the fact that she summoned an army behind her, but this was essentially a one-on-one fight.
Yeah.
And everyone else needed, 5 other partners to help take down one of the ex-Wizard Kings, which also kind of surprises me. If these are Wizard Kings and Mariolona is going toe-to-toe with, a Wizard Queen, that kind of just shows how much stronger she really is, too.
Oh, she's fucking psycho. But she would never want to be a wizard queen or king, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So, because she just doesn't want that responsibility that would be required to become a wizard king. So it's never gonna be her thing. So I think that's really cool where it's like, I'm gonna be the strongest in the kingdom, which also shows how strong Asta needs to be.
Yeah.
But I don't desire more than just to become powerful and fight new people. So yeah, that was a really good one. Let's kind of talk about Edward Avalanche.
The ice guy.
Yep, the ice guy. I thought it was cool to an extent. I think they anime logicked Noelle to beating him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, with her powers coming back to her just in time.
Yeah.
Which at the same time annoyed me a little bit. Like, I know if we were to go back all the way to season 1 of Black Clover,
yep,
you don't necessarily need a grimoire to use your magic attacks. It just makes them better, more precise, blah, blah, blah. Because we saw using his magic back at Hanj before he got his grimoire. So we know it's possible to do so. So when she was using her powers to still attack the Wizard Kings, it threw me through a little bit of a loop. I'm like, I know you're trying to be useful, but you're so not useful right now. But I get it. She's the main character, or she's one of the main characters, so of course she needs to be in there.
And she's, the love interest for Asta.
Yep.
So she's really got to be in there. Yeah, I kind of feel like they forced her, to be completely honest. I have no complaints about it because I think her attacks are really cool.
Her Valkyrie suit and her Water Dragon Roar ability.
Yeah,
I like all of that. I'm a big fan for like body upgrades as their power ups and stuff like that. So I really like just her in general. Yeah.
I just feel like they forced her to win the battle. I also saw some people on the internet being like, "Oh, she's the reason why they won." I'm like, no, she's not the reason why they won.
I mean, she definitely played a role in it because we definitely needed Gray to continue like reversing the ice to water and keep our our Wizard King, flustered at times because he was turning stuff into ice. He was turning like fire and magma into ice too.
Yep.
Yeah, he had his own like domain expansion thing going on, and that was pretty cool. I'm also not a fan of when enemies or even allies of whatever just summon a giant ass creature to do their bidding for them.
Yep.
So like when he summoned his big ass ice guardian to do some attacks, that always kind of like, that's a cheap way out. I don't care for that.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Not really a huge mech guy, so when you're using other objects to fight for you, I'll pass.
Right.
In the beginning of the movie, some cool stuff that we learned throughout this movie that I hope we get to see in the future, I don't know if we're going to, would be the underground research facility. I hope we get to see that again, where they're doing something down there to help the people, the Clover Kingdom, in some manner in the future. I know we saw, the crazy girl.
Sally.
Yeah, we saw Sally down there. We also saw
Narrow.
Yeah, down there. So they were doing something that was important. So I really hope we get to see that in the future. We'll see, because obviously while the movie isn't necessarily canon, it does make references. So there's potential that the manga in the future will make references to the movie to kind of help weave the storylines together.
Right. Yeah. There's gonna be those crossovers. So I like that they kept tapping into stuff like that.
Yeah. I'll be completely honest. Besides, like the whole buildup, I think the background for all the Wizard Kings, as I had said earlier, is important. I don't know if I need it so much. Like basically the whole reason why Conrad went bad was just like when Sensui went bad in Yu Yu Hakusho, where it was like, oh yeah, I saw some evil people be evil, so now I'm just going to be a terrible person. Like,
right.
The world isn't black and white like that.
Yeah. It felt a little too quick.
Yeah.
And then he was just so hell-bent on just destroying the world and starting over.
Yeah.
It was fun to see some supporting characters attack everybody.
Okay, yep.
Like the rest of our Black Bulls crew.
Yep.
I like Luck a lot, our lightning boy.
Okay,
I like seeing him in his angel. I like seeing him in his elf form.
You would, yes.
So I think he was the only one that I truly liked seeing on the side because everyone else kind of almost seemed like, like.
They were there. They were supporting cast. That's what they were. They played their part.
I don't know. That is Henry, the long-haired, slow speaker guy turning the castle into a jet. That was another thing I was just like, they're pushing this imagination pretty far.
Yeah. Do you even know what a plane is? A what? Yeah, that'd be what it is. It's like, that's what this thing is. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Like that would just, no. Anime logic, that one, there's no other explanation for it. I don't know. It was fine.
I was wondering too, like Henry's like special powers is to like drain other people's magic.
Yes.
So what if he was just, in closer proximity to these Wizard Kings? Would that have hastened anything? Would that have been too cheap of a way to take care of them?
Their magical powers too great that it wouldn't have mattered.
Maybe
it'd be like being around Julius or cool. Yeah, he could probably stand next to him all day and it would do nothing.
Maybe, yeah.
So I think that's what it is. It's just there's a limit to how much he can truly take away from somebody when they're that powerful.
Yeah, that could be very true. Back to Conrad.
Yes.
I did enjoy like his final fight with Asta.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
When all the doors came and he summoned all of his keys, opened up all the doors, and then like absorbed all of his elements all into one, kind of becoming like the Avatar. And then he turned into a bunch of colors and his arms just had like this kind of demonic look to him. Okay, yeah. I did think it was kind of a cool look for him.
I mean, yes, it reminded me of One for All too much.
Oh, still, yeah.
So, that's all I can say about that one. It just too similar to me.
Yeah, it's...
Sorry to just ruin that one for you.
No, I mean, really the only thing I was taking away from was that he just kind of looked cool. And at the same time, during that fight, like, did he get the ability to fly? Because at the end of the battle, like, he was in space fighting Asta, and he was getting ready to, like... throw a huge blast at him and just gave him extra abilities out of nowhere.
No, they were just unlocked grimoires that he had. That's all that was. Just apparently somebody had the ability to fly and he tapped into it.
Yeah, they must have.
I don't know. That's all I can say about that one. I have no idea. I do agree. I have no idea what happened because he went from like being a normal person to being able to fly in space with superpowers. And I'm just like, what happened? It kind of went from being Black Clover to being Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it did feel that way.
So, yeah, I don't know. That's about all I can say about that one.
Mm-hmm. And his defeat in the end with Asta getting the ability to use that, what's that sword called?
The Imperial Sword? The Imperial Sword, yeah.
Yeah, when he got the ability to use the Imperial Sword and combine it with his other demon sword and just have these giant-ass slashes take him out.
Yeah, them giving Asta the ability to use magic didn't make sense. The more we're talking about this, I feel like we're just nitpicking the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, I don't want to bash the movie. The movie itself, surface level, no issues. Not a 10, not even close to a 10.
No.
I'd probably say this was like a 5.5.
Oh yeah, you'd go that low?
The movie was fine. Like I said, I feel like it just dragged. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't great. Mm-hmm. Either. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that. No issue. If I had to watch it again, I'd probably sit on my phone half the time, but I wouldn't like walk away with it being on,
right?
Kind of thing. But it was fine. That's all I can say about that. Well, I guess what would you give this?
I'm quick to give extra praise to stuff even if they don't necessarily deserve it. So I was thinking more along the lines of like 7.5, 8.
Okay.
Just because I did enjoy it.
That's really nice.
But my criteria are almost non-existing. It's either did I enjoy it or did I not?
Okay.
And I got to see Asta go into his demon form. I got to see Yuno go into his elf form. So everybody got their cool actions in. Everyone got their transformations. So
you don't even get it out of 10. You get like a 3 or a 4-star rating.
So it's if you break it down like that, that makes a 4 out of 5 sounds way better than an 8 out of 10.
I'm saying it's 4 out of 4. So you get like 4 points. So if it's a 4, you love the movie. If it's a 3, it's like it makes all my check marks and the movie wasn't bad. If it was a 2, it made most of my check marks. I was able to finish the movie. And if it was a 1, it's like Dragon Ball Z Bio Brawly. Just I'm falling asleep during the movie. I'm not finishing it, kind of. Like that's your criteria.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
So that's Lance gives it a 3.5 stars out of 4.
Almost. Yeah, I'll go with that. And we can nitpick it, but all in all, it still was a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, like I said, I had no issues with the movie. If I was gonna actually like grade the movie for anything, I'd give it a 5.5. It was an easy watch. I will say that.
Yeah,
which is a compliment for an anime movie. So just not the best. That's all I'm gonna say about that one.
All right, so before we force any more useless conversation in, I think we are pretty much good on our thoughts and feelings on this movie. We both enjoyed it. It's definitely worth the watch. So we're pleased overall. So with that being said, thank you everybody for listening to another episode of the Anime Lounge podcast. Again, go follow the Anime Show on Facebook and Instagram. Stay up to date with everything anime related. Also go support us on YouTube, where we have our Short Flight series where we cover hot new anime that come out every season. So we break down individual episodes that come out week by week. It's a lot of fun, so please go support us there. And that being said, we'll catch you guys next time.